Think back to your school day. Did you ever cheat on an exam? We all know cheating is wrong, but when real competition kicks in, fairness sometimes goes out the window. This even happens in international events like the Olympics. From controlling the air conditioning to affect the shuttlecock to pretending to be disabled, let's see how far some athletes will go for a medal. We don't care about rules. Tug of war was once a part of the Olympic Games between 1900 and 1920. Each team consisted of 8 athletes, and every country could enter up to 3 teams. At the 1908 Olympics, the members of the Liverpool police team wore very heavy shoes, making it difficult to lift their feet from the ground. At that time, the rules banned boots or shoes with any protruding nails, but they ignored this. The American team protested against the footwear, but nothing changed, and finally, Liverpool won the pole easily. Frustrated, the Americans then withdrew from the competition. Horse doping. Doping isn't allowed in competitions, so some people think using it on animals might go unnoticed. In the 2008 Beijing Olympics, German equestrian Christian Ahlmann's horse tested positive for the banned substance capsaicin, leading to his suspension from the games. Capsaicin is derived from chili peppers. As a lotion, it can help ease pain when applied to the human body. But when applied to a horse's legs, things would be totally different. The substance can cause a burning sensation if the horse fails to clear the show jump bars, making the horse strain to jump higher to avoid the pain. This is very cruel to the animal. Because of this, Ahlmann was banned for 8 months and fined. They belong at the Oscars, not the Paralympics. One of the most famous and revolting cheating scandals occurred during the 2000 Sydney. Because of this, all intellectual disabled athletes were banned from the Paralympics for 12 years. That year, IPC hosted basketball tournaments for the mentally disabled for the first time. The condition was the player's IQ should be lower than 70. The Spanish team performed exceptionally well, winning all their matches by at least 15 points, including a final victory over the Russian favorites. A few people felt something was off, but no one spoke up. However, the next day, Spanish media reported it, and soon received several messages claiming some of the players had no disabilities. The situation quickly turned dramatic. One of the players, Carlos Ribagorda, revealed he didn't have any intellectual disabilities. He was actually a journalist and had joined the team in 1999. Finally, it was found that 10 out of 12 players had an IQ above 70, with only 2 having mental disabilities. So how did they pass the test? Carlos said the medical exam was not strict. They just did 6 push-ups and had a blood pressure check. Pretending to have intellectual disabilities was challenging for the team, as they scored 30 points very easily. This made the coach worried, and he always warned them to lower the feet a little. Finally, the team returned the medals. The president of FEDI, Fernando Martin Vicente, was fined for fraud and lies, in order to repay the subsidies to the Spanish state. Until 2012, the IPC improved its methods for detecting intellectual disabilities and welcomed back athletes with intellectual disabilities. Poor performance by the Tunisian team. Modern pentathlon is an Olympic sport that includes shooting, swimming, fencing, equestrian show jumping, and running. The sport was created by Pierre de Coubertin, the founder of the modern Olympic Games. He proposed a competition that would test the overall strength of athletes. But in the 1960 Rome Games, the Tunisian modern pentathlon team had a disastrously bad start. They had a team of 3 athletes. In the first race, each member fell off their horse. During the swimming event, one of them almost drowned. In the shooting section, someone nearly shot a judge. To salvage some dignity, during the fencing competition, they sent their best fencer to compete 3 times. But this move resulted in the team being disqualified from the fencing portion of the competition. In the end, they finished the entire team competition with 5,126 points, nearly 10,000 points behind the winners. Air condition controls shuttlecocks. The issue was at the 2014 Asian Games in South Korea. During the badminton matches, there were complaints from China, Japan, Thailand, and Indonesia. They alleged that South Korea intentionally controlled the air conditioning's wind in the stadium to gain an advantage. The Japanese coach said, "The wind supports the hosts. Every time they change sides, the wind seems to change sides as well." But South Korea claimed that they were simply trying to save power, which was why the wind kept changing. This incident remains controversial with no resolution to date. Bike doping. For years, there's been talk in cycling about motorized cheating at the pro level, but nothing was proven until 2016. That's when Belgian cyclist Van den Driesch was caught. During a routine check, people found electrical cables sticking out of her bike frame. It turned out there was a sneaky little electric motor hidden inside the seat tube, and the activation button was cleverly tucked under the bar tape. Don't underestimate this tiny motor. In cycling, every second counts. Sometimes, sprinters only finish about 15 minutes behind the winners. So just pressing that button, this little motor could make you 10% better, helping you win races or not even making it to the top 10s. Driesch denied intentionally using the bike, claiming it belonged to her friend, and the mechanic mistakenly gave her the wrong one. But not many believed her. The UCI banned Driesch until 2021, and fined her $20,500. break your leg. This incident was later adapted into a movie. In 1994, right before United States Figure Skating Championships, skater Nancy Kerrigan was assaulted by a man who struck her on the lower right thigh. Later, police found out the attack was planned by Tonya Harding's then husband and his co-conspirator. They paid another 2 others to carry out the attack on Nancy. So why did they do it? Harding and Nancy were competitors. The attack was intended to prevent Nancy from participating in the ongoing U.S. Championship and the Winter Olympics. So whether Harding was involved became a hot topic. Initially, Harding denied any knowledge of the attack, but later accepted a plea deal, admitting to helping cover it up afterward.
I would like to begin by saying how sorry I am about what happened to Nancy Kerrigan.
Although Nancy couldn't compete in the U.S. Championship, she still won a silver medal in the Winter Olympics. Harding was banned for life from figure skating events. From 2003 to 2004, she competed as a professional boxer. In 1998, they met again.
Nancy, I want to apologize again for being in the wrong place at the wrong time, around the wrong people. If I would have known anything, you know, in the beginning, I would have done anything I could to stop it. Anything. I mean, I would have dropped everything I had in my whole life to do that.
Years later, Tonya still claims she didn't make the plan to attack.
Nobody wanted to ever believe me. I'm always the bad person. And I never understood that.
But it seemed that Nancy still hadn't let go.
Do you feel like there has been an apology? Do you feel like there was, I don't know,
we talked,
remorse?
We were at an event 4 years after I was attacked, but we didn't really speak to each other, so it was very awkward and strange.
So you don't feel like you ever got an apology?
Not a direct.
The winner must be my country. Boxing at the 1988 Summer Olympics was held in South Korea, and even now, many people remain upset about the outcome. In the light middleweight championship bout between American Roy Jones Jr. and South Korean Park Si-hun, it was clear that Jones had the upper hand. He dominated Park for 3 rounds, landing 86 punches compared to Park's 32. But in the end, the Italian referee raised Park's hand, declaring him the winner.
Well, there it is!
Shortly after, one judge admitted that the decision was a mistake. In 1996, reports from East Germany's Stasi secret police revealed that judges were paid to vote for South Korean boxers. But in 1997, an official IOC investigation concluded that while the judges had been treated well by South Korean organizers, there was no evidence of corruption in the boxing events in Seoul. In another incident during the same Olympics, tensions ran high between Bulgarian and South Korean boxers. At the end of the match, the New Zealand referee Keith Walker declared Bulgaria the winner. Suddenly, chaos erupted. Walker was attacked by the Korean coaching team.
They were kicking and punching and pulling my hair. I had my hair pulled. I was punched in the back by the Korean coach.
And local spectators and security guards supported their domestic boxer, even assaulting the referee team and hurling chairs. Walker had to be protected from harm by his fellow officials. The most chaotic marathon. The 1904 Summer Olympics were held together with the World's Fair. One word to describe is chaos. The most dramatic event was the men's marathon. The initial winner was an American named Fred Lors. He finished the race in about 3 hours. But just as he was about to be awarded the gold medal, someone reported he had cheated, and then his title was stripped. Actually, Fred started the race well, but at 14 kilometers, he suffered from cramps and dropped out. His manager drove him back to the stadium, but the car broke down at the 20th mile. So Fred rejoined the race and jogged across the finish line. Actually, the entire marathon race was confusing. The race started at 3 p.m. in hot weather and the course was 40 kilometers long. The roads were full of dust. Runners had to climb 7 hills, dodge cracked stones, cross town traffic, cars, trains, and people walking their dogs. There were only 2 water stations. The Olympic organizer, James Sullivan, said they want to test the limits of human dehydration. They even let cars drive alongside the runners, kicking up dust and causing coughing fits, which caused severe internal injuries for some athletes. Thomas Hicks was the real champion. He experienced hallucinations due to doses of strychnine mixed with brandy and raw eggs. One of the South Africans was chased by wild dogs. The Cuban runner was the most dramatic one. He hadn't eaten for 40 hours, and asked a spectator for 2 peaches, but the person declined, so he stole 2 and ran away. Later, he stopped in an orchard to eat some apples, but some of them were rotten, which caused him severe stomach cramps that forced him to lie down and take a nap. Here are some really odd cheating incidents in sports that I've summed up. Got any other jaw-dropping ones? Drop a comment and let me know. See you next time.